Good afternoon. My name is Tracy Drake, and I'm a doctorate student at Liberty University. I am pursuing my degree in philosophy of history and have plans to graduate as a historian. My interest in history is rooted in politics. Therefore, completing a study on one of the most remembered presidents was an easy choice for me. It was during Theodore Roosevelt's presidency that our nation was undergoing many changes, like recovering from an economic depression and rapid industrialization. Roosevelt's progressive reforms agenda can still be experienced today simply by enjoying America's natural wonders and the natural forest lands. I began my research with the question, how did Theodore Roosevelt promote conservationist progressive reforms in the election of 1905? My question was important because Roosevelt's time in leadership left a mark on our country that benefits Americans to this day. My question was easily answered with the vastitude of reform work that Roosevelt accomplished. Roosevelt was a hands-on type of leader who wasn't afraid of working with the American people. He viewed his work as a purpose to better the lives of Americans long term. Primary sources were my friend during this research because they helped me to gain insights into Roosevelt's personal relationships and to understand the heart of Roosevelt. I was able to access documents that included his speeches, letters, and newspaper articles that told a story of a leader who had a vision for the future of America. Most of my research is centered around textual evidence, but it is also aided with diplomatic and philosophical analysis. My secondary sources gave proof of the accomplishments that Roosevelt worked so tirelessly for. The evidence showed that Roosevelt was able to accomplish his conservationist progressive reform agenda. Roosevelt went through the political process and used his authority to protect wildlife and public lands by creating the United States Forest Service and establishing 150 national forests, 51 federal bird reserves, 4 national game preserves, 5 national parks, and 18 national monuments, by enabling the 1906 American Iniquities Act. During his presidency, Theodore Roosevelt protected approximately 230 million acres of public land. After completing my research, I was still left to wonder what social reforms that Roosevelt accomplished can still be seen today. To keep my topic manageable, I purposely studied Roosevelt's conservationist progressive reforms work. To find this answer, evidence of his social reforms can be studied. In my research, I came across information that could support this question. In one primary database, the Gale in Context, an article explained Roosevelt's stance on foreign policies. The coined phrase, big stick diplomacy, was taken from Roosevelt's fondness of the West African proverb, speak softly and carry a big stick. This policy was Roosevelt's way to avoid war by using the threat of intervention by a powerful military to protect the nation's political and economic interests, particularly in Latin America. The article explained how Roosevelt aimed to be a peacemaker, but that he also set his sights on U.S. economics abroad. Roosevelt used the Navy as one of his, quote, big sticks. He deployed naval ships in Venezuela and the Dominican Republic to discourage European intervention. He also had plans to enforce the 1823 Monroe Doctrine, which prevented participation from European nations in the Western Hemisphere. Lastly, the article pointed out one of Roosevelt's successful intervention policies, which involved the Isthmus of Panama and Colombia. This was the proposed site of a canal linking the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. All of this additional evidence shows that his work went well beyond being a conservationist. Thank you for listening to my defense.